Hi, it's Dave from Midlife Explorer. I'm out again with Gord for another bike ride on our giant e-bikes. Today we're heading down the Speed River and then up the Grand River on the Walter Bean Trail, riding from Hespeler and hopefully all the way to Waterloo. It's about an 82 kilometers round trip. So today we'll be riding down the Speed River and then up the Grand River on the Walter Bean Trail. Total distance is about 82 kilometers. It'll be a good range test because our last bike ride on Monday, we did about the same distance. Both bikes came back with actually enough juice in the bikes to probably do 100 kilometers. So we think that we should be able to make it to Waterloo and back. But it'll be more challenging today because the Walter Bean Trail is a combination of single track and gravel trail. But more importantly, we're climbing 860 feet as we go up the Grand River, so there's lots of hills on the Walter Bean Trail. So it'll put some more strain on our ability to do that type of range. It'll be an interesting bike ride, and we'll give you an update and see how we're doing. Okay, you go up. Good that you're in the back there, you got the mirror. Gord's on his Giant Talon E+. I'm on a Giant Trance 3. It's also an E+3. We were last year riding the Erie Rail Trail, Lake Erie Rail Trail from Brantford to Port Dover, doing a range test. And I actually think that both of these bikes are capable of doing the 97.7 kilometers it is from Brantford to Dover and back. So it's a 100 kilometer bike ride. So last week we were doing that test to see what we could do in ideal conditions, because the bike's rated at 190. Ideal conditions, flat rail trail, not much wind, level 1 and level 2 riding only, half and half of each. We basically turned around at Simcoe because we were both getting to 60% and it would have been 20 kilometers round turn. So that really puts us on the edge. And it was our first long bike ride of the year, so we didn't want to have to work that hard coming back. To your left up here, Gord. You're going this way. Yeah, so we're doing a similar ride today. 82 kilometers round trip if we stick to the route. Now, the terrain is different now though. It's not flat rail trail. So we'll see how the bikes do when we're riding a variety of trail rather than a rail trail. We'll probably both keep it at level 1 or level 2 assist. I'm gonna probably ride level 2 assist as much as possible. Off-road, it makes going uphill a lot easier. And it's comfortable at a pace like this too. You still get your heart rate up though. But this is a nice little stretch, this ride from Hespeler down through Preston is actually a nice ride. And it continues on the other side of King Street. Actually, you can go down a linear park. We're not going to do that today, but that's actually a really nice ride too. There's a section that'll take you right down to the river. Yeah, the last time Gord and I came down this trail, there were trees down all over the place. Actually, we've got a video from us riding last year. Although last year we went up the west side of the Grand River once we actually crossed at Dune Valley, which takes you up into the industrial area of Kitchener, actually, once you're done going up that side of the Walter Bean. So we're going to go up the other side today. So we're going to go up through the golf course, and we go down actually to the river through the golf course, and we'll cross over a bridge, go over to Pioneer Tower, and then we'll continue on from there. We'll have to add some road once we get to Kitchener, to link the trails together, so we'll be doing a little bit of road riding. Our goal is to get back onto the trails as much as possible though. So today's ride's going to be on stuff like this, Gord.
Yeah, that's great.
Hey? Better on your... Well, I mean, you appreciate your bike now, right?
Yeah. And the bike shorts.
Yeah, we were commenting last ride about whether or not you need bike shorts. On my other two bikes, well, at least I had an NCN Moscow Plus, and on my Volt bike, seats are really comfortable, so you don't need shorts. After spending 5.5 hours on this thing last week, I can tell you I was in Costco last night having a look at shorts and would have bought them if they were cheaper, but no, it's definitely going to be on my list. To your left. So from this point down south of here on the Speed River, other than this time of year, there's no point in kayaking, but you can get out over there in Portage, but nobody ever kayaks through here. You can come into the village, but after that, turn around and go back up the Speed because there's no point going any further. Having said that, this does flow into the Grand River later. Look at the heron. See the heron? Right there? So there you go. You can see there's a heron down there. Good fish. And you can get down here too, eh? There's a trail down here. Yeah. Well, we had to hump the bikes over a tree back there. Yeah. So I'm on a Giant Trance E+3, so this is the least expensive version of the Giant Trance E+. Rock shock front and back, 150 mil travel on the front, 140 on the back. It's got a... I've got other e-bikes. My Yukon, this is not my Yukon, my Volt bike Enduro. It's actually the other bike I kept. I sold another one to pay for this, but the Volt bike Enduro, actually, I've ridden up and down here on that bike plenty of times. Suspension, you don't really, you can't really tell the difference between the suspensions on a trail like this, but this is nice and quiet otherwise though, whereas my Volt bike, you can hear the rattles already, and I've only had it 2 years, so as a matter of fact, you can hear the rattles on it day one. So this bike is much better built than that Volt bike, and you start to notice it when you're riding on trails like this. I was just saying, when you're riding on stuff like this, this is when you start to notice that you've got a different kind of a bike, right? Yeah. So that's what your bike's designed to do.
This is, well, this is just a lot more solid than my other bike.
Yeah. And you don't mind bumping into things on it because you know it can take it.
Yeah, that's right.
Just quickly cross over Beaverdale Road here, and then there's 2 ways you can get into the trail. And actually, for fun, we're going to take the second exit and go the trail that way. Well, there's an island in the middle of the Speed River. You can't see it right now, but we got a little homeless camp in the middle of this river. Wonder how they're getting back and forth across. Especially now with the river being high, because it's high. Okay, so that's the first traditional trail right there. So there's a better trail back here. So knock the gate down. Not very long, but it's nice to have a little bit of a different surface for a few minutes.
Nice little offshoot there.
Okay, it's a nice little diversion. We'll come down this trail on the way back anyway, so yeah. It's a little bit more fun for 5 minutes, eh?
Well, that's what these bikes are for.
Yeah.
Right?
It's
I won't be doing too many asphalt trails.
yeah, no, we're only using asphalt to get from one trail to the next. So have you got your bike in touring mode?
That I don't. It's on auto. It just, however I'm pedaling, it jumps to the different parts.
Okay, so the auto is what I have in this one. I don't think you'll make the 82 kilometers in auto though.
I pretty much have it on that the whole time.
Seriously, you're on touring mode, like auto?
Yeah.
Holy shit! So then your bike's got better range than mine. Because mine won't do that on auto mode. Like it won't do today.
There was lots of times that we were riding 33 kilometers and that was it. Like there's no way that's fine.
There. I've been riding up and down this trail ever since my kids were 5 years old. When I lived in Preston, we used to ride up to Hespeler on this trail all the time.
It's fortunate that it didn't turn into a subdivision.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a nice trail. I like this trail.
Yeah, Cambridge has a cool trail system. You can pretty much get through all through town. I don't know much of it. I'm sure I will before the end of this summer.
This is with Garmin Connect.
Yeah.
You can go ahead and plan a route on your computer, and then you can send me the map, and then I can update my GPS. I put 3 different versions of the ride that we're doing on this.
Oh, yeah?
Now I'm manually selecting the route though, so it doesn't allow me to plot an automatic return. So I have a ride up that's 42 kilometers and a ride back that's 48.
Okay. Now, does it tell you, say, turn left in 100 feet or whatever?
Yeah, if you want to. I'm not using it. I've just got it on the speedometer. But it also now is connected to my bike, so I can see the bike stats if I want.
So you've figured it out.
Yeah, I watched some YouTube videos and figured it out this week. It was.
I knew you would.
For a piece of technology though, you would think it would be more intuitive than it is. Because I'm in the technology business. We just launched a product called Central Mail Station, and I'm actually launching some new software called Pitmanship Pro. That's what I do for a living. So I'm kind of in the product business, and I think Garmin could improve this system by simply making it easier to use. and improving how it connects, because I guess with newer bikes it has a hard time connecting to the newer bikes, but I did manage to eventually get it to connect. But yeah, I'm kind of really looking forward to using it today though. It's great for a ride like this where you don't know where you're going for a good part of the trail. We actually tried this last year and couldn't figure out a way to go any further after King Street, and now we've got that mapped to get back on the trail. So we'll see if it worked.
Yeah, that was still a 60k ride though, wasn't it?
No, that was 80 because we went into Galt after.
Oh,
Remember we went touring around took you downtown Galt?
right.
So that was 80 kilometers yet. Yeah, so I lived in Preston for the first 8 years when I moved to Cambridge, and we used to walk down here with our kids all the time, and I used to ride bikes. My mountain bike in those days, I used to tow a trailer, a chariot on the back. We used to ride through all these trails.
What a great day.
Yeah. I used to bring my dogs on the bike through these parks. When I lived in Preston, I had bigger dogs. I had an Aussie Shepherd for a bit, and I also had a lab, chocolate lab for a bit. So the Aussie Shepherd was able to run with me all the time. The chocolate lab would only get this far and then end up in the river. No matter what time of year, I never got past this bridge without that dog going in this river. Like in the middle of January she went in. Well, she went in one year when the river was like today, right, in the spring, and she couldn't fight the current to get back, so she ended up just getting stuck. Turn right, sorry, slow down. Oh, sorry, we're over here. She ended up getting stuck in the middle of the river, and I had to walk out to go get her in my bare feet. Yeah, I always love coming back here because it's especially during the week, people come in here and put birdseed down. So there's tons of, you obviously see lots of chipmunks and squirrels, but you see birds in here all the time. Yeah. Yeah, and again, on Fridays, Gord and I always do our stuff on Friday afternoons. And when you do, the advantage of doing things on a Friday afternoon rather than a Saturday or a Sunday is there's a lot less people around. So we always have the river to ourselves when we're paddling. You know, bike riding, obviously you're going to run into more people, but we usually are on our own. And then when we're hiking in the wintertime, we're always on our own. Or skiing. So when my kids all played soccer, that's where their home field was, right up there. Yeah. Hey there. All right, so we're now getting off the Mill Run Trail. We're now in Riverside Park. Great place to be on July long weekend. They got stuff going on every long weekend down here though. The rail trails are cool, but I actually prefer, if you know, Brantford, you can do the same thing, right? Brantford's got enough trails that you can do a connected bike ride and hit a little bit of everything.
Yeah. Well, Brantford, the trails out there are a lot wider.
So the city of Cambridge actually became Cambridge, I think it was in 1967, but originally it was 3 towns, Hespeler, Preston and Galt. And I live in Hespeler. We've now ridden down the speedway into Preston. That's right. Yeah, that's why I like small towns. They should have just got a turn. Alright, so now we're off of Fountain Street, busy little road, but the good news is you're not to be on it for very long, and there's a bike lane all the way across it, so it's not complicated. And then from here we're going to be able to get